Hello, welcome to the Max Down podcast, and I am your host, Pt.2. And on this platform, we bring to you truth unfiltered, stories unheard, and truths untold. So you could leave your comments and suggestions, and if you would like to be a part of this in any way, you could send a message to me on Twitter and Instagram at @tofumi_ii. Thank you for listening.
My name is Aaliyah and totality of a communicator. Yeah, in a sense, I'm a communicator, and I'm an integrated marketing communicator.
Then you already know what the podcast is about, right?
Yeah, definitely. A family of 4. I have an older brother, just a sibling, an older brother, and my mom, and then my dad. My dad isn't in the picture anymore, so I could just say a family of 3. That's my mom, my brother, and myself. And it is the children that are the receiving point of a terrible marriage. Well, maybe the woman, personal experience, I would say that the children actually get a greater share of a terrible marriage.
And that is a recap of the first segment, which represents Aaliyah's story. And I'm going to be taking you through the rest of the story, and we would get to see more on how she was able to pull through with her family and how for her God was a major factor in her healing. And I'm saying this once again on the podcast, and I'm saying no to domestic violence. This is the Max Down podcast. Don't go anywhere.
It was just me, it kind of got nice. Maybe he knew that, okay, my mom had left, so it was going to be who would have to keep who at the end of the day. So he got nice to me at that time. He would always come to my hostel with gifts and stuff. I chopped life that time. He would always come to my hostel with gifts and stuff, but me, I already knew that if you would die, you live with my dad. No. So after secondary school, fortunately, my mom moved here to where we are right now. She already built this place. She built this place when she was in civil service. I don't have to mention the place. When she was in civil service, she built this place, and that's one of the things that I would say that she was thoughtful. I don't know if our plan was to build and rent it out, and that source of income, but it was already there, so it was just the go-to. So we moved in here. She already moved in here, so when I was done with school, I came to join her here, and I don't know if I don't know how, but I just thank God. My brother went to school after the A levels. My brother went to the university almost immediately. She made me do A levels as well. She felt like, okay, we needed the whole experience. After A levels, also I went to the university. My university, I don't know how. I don't know. I went to a private. My brother also went to a private university, and for a single mom, I never for once felt like I was being raised or I was being sponsored by a single mom, because I had everything I needed. I had everything I wanted. I had friends who had both parents. That I'm not bragging about this, but I'm just thanking God and I'm thanking my mom. I had friends who had both parents and were not as comfortable as I was. I had everything I wanted that a student would want or a student would need. I had everything from allowance. My allowance was heavy for a single mom. I don't know how she did it. I've not asked her because it's an uncomfortable conversation. I asked her how, but I was very comfortable. I had everything, and university, the school fees, to allowance. I don't know how. Honestly, I don't know how, but she did it, and I'm just grateful. And it just made me. It still makes me see the strength of a woman from a whole different perception. Because I'm like, how, So I think that's one thing that helped me in healing. There's so many things I've had to censor that I wouldn't want to talk about. So many things. For one is when I was in secondary school, I think my GS3, I almost lost my mom. I think it was, I don't know, but doctors said it was cancer, and she was hospitalized for months. Now, in that kind of situation with a father that was carefree and crazy, you can imagine what the experience was like. It was one of the darkest phases of my life. There was no ray of light. I don't know how, but God knew that if he had taken her at that time, it was going to be the end for her and my brother. So he didn't take her. But he made us see what it would be like if he had taken her. So I think that's one of the reasons I'm still very grateful to God. It was dark. It was terrible. And believe me when I say it was terrible. So, so many experiences. So many experiences with my brother as well. And, it affected the relationship we had.
With each other?
With one another, even with my mom, myself and my brother. We didn't have a good relationship. My mom was literally, let's just get through every other day. That was it for her. And once I provide the children with their basic needs, basically. So everybody was on their own. I was on my own. My brother was in his own. As a matter of fact, I just knew I had a brother. I didn't know whatever was going on in his life. Likewise, my mom, I knew, she had to battle with domestic violence and whatever it was she was probably dealing with work. And I can say to today that my mom was one of the most proactive people at her place of work. I can say it anywhere. She was active. My mom was one of the people that made me understand that you have to get to work. I don't know how she did it, but she would always get to work like around 7 in the morning as a civil servant. I don't know how she did it because and I'm not sure she ever missed it. Getting to work very early. She never missed it. She was really hardworking. For someone that experienced domestic violence, someone that was not happy, or maybe that was a source of joy. But I just felt like, a part of her life was meant to slack, and maybe her job, for someone that was going through what she was going through. So I'm not even sure any of her colleagues knew what she was going through personally. But it didn't affect her job. She was doing too well with her job. And I know this because so many people looked up to her. I know times that I'll go into her office and, she got a promotion when she was meant to get a promotion. And, she was doing good with her. She was doing very well with her job. And, I think she gave me that. She's passed that on to me. I'm not perfect, but, she's always giving me that impression of you can't afford to get to work late. You have to do what you have to do. Even if it is killing you, you have to do it because you signed up for it. You signed up for it. It's something you took up in the first place. So I don't know. At times I'm not bragging, but when people say things like my mom is the best mom in the world, this and that, I feel like I know that they have their personal reasons for saying so. But then I'm like, can your mom be? Really? Because when people say, I have the best mom in the world, my mom is this, my mom is that, I'm like, is she really? Because I'm like, have you met my mom? I'm not even bragging, but I know these things because, at times I look at her and I'm like, you're so impossible. Like, how do you do the things you do? I don't say these things, so I don't say any of these things to her because I'm kind of finding uncomfortable.
I know.
I'm finding uncomfortable being moist and saying all those things. But, I'm like, how do you do the things you do? I mean, how? But it just made me understand that there's no safe place in this world. There's really no safe place, and you just have to be strong. You have to be rugged, and you just have to do what you have to do. Life is not going to pamper you. Life doesn't pamper anybody, and there are so many situations that you find yourself that you never signed up for, and you never believed, or you never even saw, or you never imagined. But life doesn't pamper anybody, and things can change anytime, so you have to be ready for it. So well, I don't know what else that I might have to really talk about, but
has this in any way affected your perspective? You mentioned some of them right now. You talked about the kind of strength seeing your mom do certain things, it passed to you, and your way of thinking. But most people feel like people that were raised by single mothers, that they always have, you know what I want to say?
Yeah, you always have relationship issues.
Not only
Or
relationship issues,
trust
like
issues.
you should know so much about them, their background, and how they were raised. I remember I saw one nonsense tweet.
I've seen it several
You
times
saw it?
that never did a girl that was raised by a
I
single
saw
mom.
that last week, and I was like, this person does not have sense. But I didn't want to reply on Twitter before somebody starts, you know, how they can be like. And I was like, this person does not have sense. You that you had
both parents.
What
Yes. How
did you get?
turn out?
Did you get?
Yes,
but I don't want to
know.
seem like savage, and so I
Yes.
just keep my thoughts to myself when it's on Twitter, and I'm just like, you people don't have sense. It's fine. You can spit out whatever you want to spit out.
Yeah, I know.
And this is the perspective people have that this person is this. So, how would you say being raised by a single mother affected you?
Well, honestly, I'm not even going to lie. You see the popular never did a girl that was raised by a single mom. Well, I don't know what to think, but I'm trying to see if I have any friend that was raised or that is being raised by a single mom at the moment, and maybe try to look into her life to know whether or not they're saying the truth. But personally, I've had a couple of relationships, and I don't know. I don't know. Well, it takes time for you to have a good relationship. Well, it depends on your experience. It depends on the circumstances that led to you being raised by a single mom. That's another thing. But if it's something relating to mine, you might have issues in your relationships. I'm not even going to lie. You might have issues in your relationship. You will have issues in your relationships from the start. If you just start dating, you know, maybe you're new to the whole dating thing, you might have issues. You won't let your guards down. Everybody's a threat to you.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to ride you. Everybody wants to cheat you. There'll be pride.
1,001%.
So much pride. I remember there was this relationship I had, and I was telling the guy that if you leave today, there won't be shit, because if I can leave my own dad, I don't know, you know, if I can decide to cut my own father off, who are you? Yes, there will be pride. You feel like anybody is disposable. You feel like you can do without anybody. To an extent, it could be a good thing, but to a large extent, it is a bad thing.
Yeah,
because you make people feel useless. You make people feel like they're not good enough for you. But you have to work on yourself a lot. You have to work on yourself. You have to make yourself understand that not everybody wants to cheat you. Not everybody wants to ride you. I know how much my dad took from my mom, in terms of money, in terms of herself, in terms of everything. You can't get married to someone and stay in the marriage and have children for the person, and you won't give all of yourself to that person.
Yeah.
If you're leaving that person, you will only live with quarter of yourself, not all of yourself. Do you understand? And most people do not successfully leave and end up doing something good with themselves at the end of the day, because most times the thought of where am I going to start from is first going to ruin you. Yes. So, well, and you know, personally, I find it difficult to leave any part of myself with anybody, whether with friendship or whether with relationship. If I am going to leave, I want to take all of myself away. Like, I want to take all of myself back. I won't take the chances of leaving myself. Do you understand? I'm a soft person to an extent. I think I'm a selfless person to an extent. But my life is calculated. I literally live my life like I'm playing chess. Like I want to know. I'm probably with a guy, and I'm reading his winks.
I know that about you. I know that.
Reading is if you raise your finger, I'm going to read it. I want to know why you just raised your finger. And you're probably just there, just chopping your life and just enjoying yourself. But I'm reading it.
Every single thing.
I want to know why you just did what you just did. I want to know why you just winked.
Because side.
I don't want to be left high and dry. Do you understand? So it's a whole lot, but at the same time, you just have to calm down. You just have to breathe and pray to God to help you, because you can't do it on your own.
Yeah,
you can't do any of these things. The healing doesn't come from going to a therapist or eating a lot of ice cream or or with time, because they say time heals everything, but it doesn't.
It doesn't.
It comes with
what you're doing
the
at
grace
that
of
particular
God,
and what you're doing.
It comes with a huge chunk of the grace of God. So I think that's one major thing. It could affect. It is going to affect your relationship with people, but you just have to understand that it's never all about you. That people are involved in this, and not everybody wants to ruin you or dupe you or hurt you. There are people that actually really do care about you. So I think that's one thing as well. Yeah. And sure. Yes.
And like over the years since your mom left, how do you think she has been? I know that that's a question that she only can answer. Because she's the only one that knows how much she would have sucked everything in, sucked it up, and tried to manage and try to be strong for the both of you and your brother, and just try to seem okay. I mean, a lot of mothers go through that.
Yes, a lot
of them. And then when you see them, the day you see them cry, it's like you start crying, even if you don't know.
It's apparent.
Like it's straightforward.
Your mom cries, you cry.
It's like, what's making her cry? You just become unhappy.
Yeah.
And I don't know, but over the years, from when your mom left, or when your mom was in the marriage, and after she left the marriage, and now over the years that she has maybe healed or maybe not totally healed, because she can only answer if she has healed or not. And then now, how do you think she has been, or what you've watched? Because I know you look, you're observant. What do you think? Like, what do you think has transpired from this?
From that time till now. Well, one thing I know is she's become unbreakable. I don't know that thing that could probably break her. Maybe her children. Yeah. But I feel like she's become unbreakable. I don't know what you will probably do to her that will probably hurt her. But over the years, from when she left, she lost her job that same 2013 when she left her marriage. It was at that time, I have to say, she was working with Pt.2, so it was at that time that Pt.2 got privatized, and they disengaged most of their workers that had been with them for over 20 years. She had been with them for over 20 years, so she was disengaged at that time. So it was losing her job, her marriage at the same time. It was like
crazy,
months away from each other. So I saw her with nothing, only her children, of course. And when we moved in here, we didn't have all of this furniture. We didn't have all of this furniture and stuff. So I think we moved in here with maybe the stove and some plates and a few things. And I saw her pick herself up from the ground, like from the depths of the ground, and grew. I don't know how she did all those things. It feels like magic still, single-handedly. So I don't know. I feel like she's synonymous to strength. When they say strength, and you're looking for another word for strength, I could probably refer to her. And how she's been, I know that I pray to God for grace. I pray to God that maybe He could give me the grace to be like her, even if it is half or quarter But I feel like, any woman that is like her is just a thing, So it's just strength. How she's been from then to now, she's grown in every sense of the word when it comes to strength. There was this time we were having a conversation. I was telling her about the message that was preached in church that day. We were just gisting, and I was telling her how the pastor was talking about strength and all of that, and it was what I needed to hear at that point because of my job, that, you have to keep it going, strength and all of that. So I was telling her, and she was like, don't you see me? Like that, it hit me, because I'm like, yes, I see you. She was like, look at me. What is that thing that can come my way that will break me? Except she loses her kids though. But I don't actually see that thing that will probably come her way and break her, because she feels like there is no situation that she'll find herself that she cannot rise above. And that's the truth. Because she feels like, she can pick herself up from anywhere and anything. So I think that is what it is. She's someone that feels like, she is someone that, she just always feels like she can come out of anything. She can go past anything. She's strong, yes. And it takes strength to be able to do that. And, the times that we went to university, and my brother, she was always home alone. So I feel like I can't be home alone, wake up in the morning to myself, go to work by myself, come back to myself. That's another. even nature, even life demands that, every human needs human connection, needs a relationship and all of that. So, I don't know how she was able to deal with any of that, because like I mentioned earlier that, she had a friend that was my dad's friend's wife, but they moved out of the country that same year. That was even before my mom left her marriage and moved out of the country. And, I can't point at this person and say this is my mom's friend. She doesn't have any friends. So, I really don't know. But I think it's just, I think it's that. I think it's been a lot for her. I can't exactly say this is how she feels at this point in time. But if there's anything I know she's grateful to God. She's always grateful to God, because it might feel like, she was able to do these things by herself, but there was no way she would have been able to do it by herself without God. So yes, I know she's grateful to God, and I can't personally say this is how she feels, and I really don't know, but I know she's grown. I know she's, yeah.
Okay, and if there is, like right now, are we forgiving your dad?
Well, and my dad are in the same city. I mean, he's in Ibadan here. I've not just seen him, and I don't know what's up with him, but I'm not sure I have any problem with him. He's remarried now with a child. I saw it on Instagram. That's how I found out that he was remarried with a child. And the person he got married to, she's really young. She's a young lady. So I know he's happy, whatever.
Okay.
I really
Okay.
don't. I really don't
Care.
I don't think about it. I don't really care. I don't think about him. Maybe it crosses my mind every once in a while, but I don't dwell on the thought, because I don't have any business with the thought.
So he has never like once said, okay, let me
No.
see my children.
No. You don't know my dad. You don't know my dad. He doesn't care. Actually, I don't know how I can ever explain him to anybody. I feel like you need to know him personally firsthand before you can understand what I'm talking about. But you don't know my dad. If you know him, you won't ask certain questions. For real though, you won't ask certain questions. But no. There was this time I was with my friend. She's late now. She was with her boyfriend. We went out together. He wanted to pick up a friend around Dugbe, and my dad's store is around Dugbe. So we're in the car, we're waiting for his friend to come. Both of them were sitting in front. I was sitting at the back, and my dad passed, and I could be damn sure that we were looking at each other. I didn't say anything. Even my friend didn't know, because I didn't say shit to any of them. We just looked at each other, and he walked past, and I looked away.
Seriously?
I'm telling you.
Wow.
I'm telling you the truth.
Wow.
I came home, I told my mom, and you know, I felt bad because I'm like, my father.
You would.
But we just looked at each other and, you know.
Wow.
It is crazy. Honestly, it is very, very crazy. But because there's no how I'll tell my friend that that's my dad and she'll be like,
is your dad?
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Wow.
And I think after that I just came home because I just didn't feel up to anything anymore. But after that day, please, baby girl.
So if he comes back today,
if my dad comes back today, to what? No, actually, because I feel like what's he coming back to?
To fix.
No, I'm not saying what is he coming back to do. I'm not saying what is he coming back. I'm not saying what is he coming back to do. I'm just saying what is he coming back to? What is it? What does it plan to return to? Yes.
He does hear my word.
Because I really don't know. I really don't know because most people don't understand. Most people say things like family this, family that, families first, blah blah blah. But you know, the truth is, I feel like it's not like that. It is whoever that is there for you that is there for you.
Yeah.
Family is it's just all band, please. So I really don't know. Well, till that time, if he ever does, then maybe I would know. But right now, I don't know.
You don't know what you do.
I won't do anything.
You just be like, oh, okay. You sit down and then listen to him talk.
I think I'm calm.
Well, you will not know until you are at that position.
In that position, but I know what my brother would do though. You know, because my brother has terrible anger issues, and I think it was because of whatever he went through. Yeah. He has terrible anger issues. So, you know, when you say things like that, you could literally see the anger in his face, the way his eyes would change and all of that kind of stuff. It can be, you know, it took my mom a lot to deal with my brother personally.
I know.
And it took me a lot too, but at some point, you know, I feel like, well, we're never together. In the sense, I mean, like right now, you know, we're not in the same city, so that's how we have a good relationship. Because most times I feel like when we're together, we're not always in a good place.
Yeah, fights.
But when we're away, I feel like we always have a very good relationship. So I think that's how it works for us. But like I said, I know how you would react. Because he will be so angry, he'll be really bitter. So he has every reason to, because he knows he went through, he had his own fair share personally. It was terrible. Because I'm not sure I will ever go through something like that and survive it. So yeah, I think he has every right to be. So I know how he would possibly react. But for me, no, my baby girl. I don't know. I don't know how I would react. I think I'll be pretty calm. I think I'll watch my brother, my brothers, and my mom's reaction. Expression. Because they should take the lead. I think mine is still like...
It's like...
Yeah. However they react.
Yeah, fine with it.
Yeah, I am. I feel like I am. However they react is like, okay. Oh, you guys are angry. Oh, cool. We're angry. Oh, you guys are not. Oh, cool. We're not angry. G gets... I think that's it for me. I don't know. I think I'm not sure I would have said this years ago if you had asked me that question. I'm not sure I would have said this years ago.
You've grown.
At this point,
you've grown.
Yeah, I think I've grown past
all of it.
Yeah, all of it. I think I'm good.
Nice. Nice, pretty nice. Okay, I don't even know what question to even ask anymore. Basic, like I'm being straightforward.
Yeah.
Like I think I've touched every area, and I don't know, it's sad. And the funny thing is, a lot of people go through this, and that's why it's important for yourself. I feel like the point that you are now, where you are now, you had to constantly talk to yourself. You had to be conscious of your do's, you had to be conscious of your actions, and most importantly, tell yourself the truth. I don't know how, for me, that's how it works. Self-realization, like I talk to myself in my head or in my room, and I say, okay, Dofumi, this stupid thing that you did now, how could you have avoided it? And how could you have done better? I always talk to myself. So when I've already made a decision, and I'm now looking back, I'm like, baby girl, do you know that you don't have sense like this? And I'm
like, I know that feeling.
Like, okay, this is what you could do better. This is what you could have avoided and stuff. So I feel like maybe that's how you grew, and most importantly, your mom, because I know how you've talked about her, and I told you then when we were working together that I wanted to ask.
Yeah. What's up?
But I was like, Tofumi, mind your business. You get, because it's not everybody that wants to go talk to people about certain things like that. But I knew how much you carried your mom, like on your shoulder, even if it's not on your head, right? How much you carried on your head, and when you're always talking about her when we're having some kind of conversations or radio, and then you just bring them like, I just smell, and I'm like, okay. And I didn't want to ask because we didn't have that
that
bond then, and it was just basically work and normal bands that we do at the office. But it's pretty amazing to see how much growth has taken place, because I can't imagine. I can't imagine. And for your brother, I think I understand the anger part, because he had to see somebody that in quotes he held as a father figure, and somebody wanted to be like, because most people are like, oh, I want to be like my dad.
Oh, definitely.
And then it had to just see so much negativity that it has to be like, no, I cannot do this to people around me. I cannot do this. So I perfectly understand. I perfectly understand. Nice. Nice.
Well, honestly, I can't deny the fact that people go through things like this every day, every time. But I'm just going to talk to people that are in relationships, that I hope they're in the relationship for the right reasons. That if they're going to get married, it's never about them anymore. If they're going to bring children into this world, it's never about them anymore. They have to put those lives into consideration. You can't drag people into your mess. You can't drag innocent lives into your mess. You have to think about it. You have to be double and double and double and double sure that you actually love the person that you're going to be with. And it's not even about love anymore.
That's what I wanted to say.
That you respect the person, that you don't want to hurt the person anytime.
That you're friends with the person.
Yes, friends first. And for the men, that you're not just a beast that just want to constantly hit your wife because she's the weaker version, and you just feel like you're the man that it takes violence to be able to prove your masculinity. It's crazy, honestly, because it's actually crazy. And for no reason should you even touch your wife. She's not whatever she is, or you shouldn't touch your wife, and there shouldn't be any form of violence that your children would have to see. It's crazy.
And relationship with the actions of the person, the thoughts of the person, when the person is angry, how the person reacts. Please be conscious. I know everybody wants to love and be in a relationship and have boyfriend and girlfriend and settle down. I mean, everybody does, but please be
very conscious.
Aaliyah, thank you.
Aaliyah, thank you. Oh well, it was really nice doing this, because one way or the other I would have loved to say this. I'm still going to eventually maybe a book, or I don't know what it will be, but I would have to, and I hope that by that time I can properly put it together, not filter and try to cut and all of that. I hope I can really take my time to put everything out there. But most importantly, I'm actually really grateful for the first platform to be able to put this out.